So, guys, I'm sure that you are aware of the debate that people are having right now. I'm talking about 49 Afrikaners that have left this country to live in the US under Trump administration's refugee plan. This is a big story. I will have to admit it myself because, guys, I don't want to lie. When this story came out, I didn't think that it would actually get so much airtime because, according to me, it is just 49 Afrikaners at the international airport minding their business and waiting for the flight. I didn't think that the media would actually go into the space of these people and basically harass these people. They would surround these people. Again, I didn't think that this story would actually get to a crazy part where you would see the journalist going around at the airport asking people, how do you feel about these 49 Afrikaners that are leaving South Africa for the United States? How do you feel about it? As if these people's opinions matter. These people's opinions doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And right now, I've actually realized that this story is now even being covered by the international outlets. I mean, like, this is where I actually get my humble pie and admit that this is a big story. And I also saw the response of the South African government through the Office of the International Relations. So this is what I want us to actually look at today. The response of the South African government through the Office of the International Relations. So the statement says that the South African government engages United States on resettlement concerns. The Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation confirms that Deputy Minister Alvin Botes held a cordial discussion with the United States Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Lendo on the 9th of May 2025. The discussion follows engagement via the diplomatic channels wherein the government expressed concern with the information conveyed that the United States has commenced with the processing of alleged refugees from South Africa and will begin resettling these citizens in the United States. So guys, just listen to this second paragraph. It is insane. It says that the discussion follows engagement via the diplomatic channels wherein the government expressed concern with the information conveyed that the United States has commenced with the processing alleged refugees from South Africa and will begin resettling these citizens in the United States. But if you listen to the comrades, this is not the tone of the comrades, because the comrades are all over television, the comrades are on radio, the comrades are on social media saying that these people must leave. We don't care about these people. These people must leave. But look at the government. Behind the scenes, these people are expressing concerns. They're expressing concerns to say that, guys, why are you taking our people from us? Why are you taking our people from us? And this is not what the administration is demonstrating to the people right now, that they are actually concerned about the fact that this story is putting them in a bad light. This story, whether they like it or not, now it's on international outlets, is putting them on a bad light. So the letter continues to say that, noting that the internationally recognized definition of refugees as set out in 1951 Refugee Convention and its 1967 protocol, the convention defines a refugee as someone with a, quote, well-founded fear of persecution based on race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or a political opinion. South Africa acknowledges that the determination of refugee status requires a factual assessment in light of the prevailing circumstances, having due regard for both subjective and objective factors. And I also found this paragraph to be quite concerning, noting that the internationally recognized definition of refugees as set out in the 1951 Refugee Convention and its 1967 protocol. The convention defines a refugee as someone with a well-founded fear of persecution based on race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group or a political opinion. South Africa acknowledges that the determination of a refugee status requires a factual assessment in line of the prevailing circumstances, having due regard for both subjective and objective factors. So I guess some of these people would actually argue that the South African government didn't condemn the EFF by chanting, "Kill the bull, kill the farm." And to show you that the ANC understands that "kill the bull, kill the farmer," it is not a chant that has a space in modern day South Africa. You remember Fikile Mbalula, the Secretary General of the ANC, coming out to say that the ANC will never chant kill the Boer, kill the farm. They will never chant the kill the Boer, kill the farm. Why? It's because deep down in their hearts, they know that chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. Despite what the court said. I don't care what the court said. I'm not going to sit here and not apply my mind simply because some judges basically said that kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is not hate speech. It is hate speech. It is hate speech, and the reason why I'm saying that it is hate speech is because if the same Afrikaners turn around and say that kill the darkies, kill the black people, kill the darkies, kill the black people, the same people that are chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer, they will be out in the streets losing their minds. And that actually shows you that it is hate speech. But right now, this is something that the ANC knows. If you listen to people like Thabo Mbeki, they did say that kill the Boer, kill the farmer has no space in modern day South Africa. But the EFF says that, okay, just because the courts are on our side, we are going to chant this. And they know that every time when they chant kill the Boer, kill the farmer, they know they get international coverage. And they love when they get that kind of attention. But they are getting that kind of attention at the expense of South Africa. They are getting it at the expense of South Africa. Because when you look at Afrikaners, not everybody in the Afrikaner community understands what the court basically said. Just think about the 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 14-year-old Afrikaner kids. When they hear a leader of a political party in a stadium packed with people chanting kill the Boer, kill the farm, don't you think that those children, they are actually fearing for their lives? Don't you think they are fearing for their lives? Because they do not have an understanding like the adults do. They don't have the understanding like the adults do. Truth of the matter is that kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. And I think that this is one of the reasons why some of these people are saying that, okay, we are not going to stand. We are not going to allow a situation that is bad to happen to us or our families before we actually vacate this place. We are vacating this place. We are vacating this place. And I'm sure this is how many of them would actually qualify why they actually left South Africa. We can disagree. It is fine. The letter continues to say that we reiterate that the allegations of discriminations are unfounded. The South African Police Service statistics on farm-related crimes do not support allegations of violent crimes targeted at farmers generally or in particular race. There are sufficient structures available with South Africa to address concerns of discrimination. Moreover, even if there are allegations of discrimination, it is our view that these do not meet the threshold of persecution required under domestic and international refugee law. It is most regrettable that it appears that the resettlement of South Africans to the United States under the guise of being called refugees is entirely politically motivated and designed to question South Africa's democracy. It is most regrettable that it appears that the resettlement of South Africans to the United States under the guise of being called refugees is entirely politically motivated and designed to question South Africa's constitutional democracy. I mean, right now, it seems like the government behind the scenes, they are now starting to realize that, okay, guys, maybe some of these things that we didn't condemn are actually putting us into a bad light. And if you can read this statement of the government, you can actually see that this is something that is near and dear to Ramaphosa's administration, because Ramaphosa has this, I don't know if I should call it an addiction of trying to look good internationally. Ramaphosa wants to appear good internationally. And he knows that this story is going to taint his image. He knows that very well. A country which has in fact suffered through persecution under apartheid rule and has worked tirelessly to prevent such levels of discrimination from ever occurring again, including through the entrenchment of rights in our constitution, which is enforced vigorously through our judicial system. In addition, it is not clear how the principle of non-refoulement will be applied in relation to these citizens once they've resettled. Through progressive judgment from the South African courts, particularly the constitutional courts, our state has demonstrated a principled commitment to protect minorities and vulnerable groups. This shows the extent to which South Africa is working towards a country in which their citizens are free and protected. I mean, like, at this point, it feels like these people are just explaining themselves. It feels like they are just explaining themselves. And I would actually advise these people to Stand on what you believe in. Stand in what you believe in. Whilst South Africa challenges the United States assessment of alleged refugee status, it will not block citizens who seek to depart the country from doing so, as it also observes their right of freedom of movement and freedom of choice, specifically the right to leave the country as contained in the Section 21 of the Constitution. However, it is essential that in doing so, South Africa ensures that it is compliant with other domestic laws and prescripts. Through the diplomatic channels, the Department of International Relations and Corporations has sought out the following. Number one, the status of persons that will be departing, whether as asylum seekers, refugee, or ordinary citizens. Number two, assurances as to whether the persons have been appropriately vetted by South African authorities to ensure that they do not have any outstanding criminal cases pending against them, amongst others. The government of South Africa remains dedicated to constructive dialogue with the United States of America, anchored in a mutual respect for sovereignty, the rule of law, and shared commitment to deepening mutually beneficial bilateral partnership. So, this is the statement of a South African government, and it actually feels like they are just explaining ourselves. Like, guys, no, we are good people, man. We don't understand why they are giving us such a bad publicity, man. Me, as Ramaphosa, I want good publicity, man. I want to appear good to my international friends, but I know that this thing is actually putting me in a bad light. So, we know that the President Ramaphosa right now, as we speak, he's in Ivory Coast. He was there to meet the likes of the president of Rwanda, and he actually got a chance to speak about the development of this story. And this is what the president of the country basically said.
Own concern, because those people who are being enticed to go to the United States do not fit the definition of a refugee. A refugee is someone who has to leave their country out of fear of political persecution, religious persecution, or economic persecution. And
that's what the United States says they're undergoing in South Africa. That's why they've opened the door for them.
Yes, and they don't fit that bill. They don't fit that description. And I had a conversation with President Trump on the phone, and he said, what's happening down there? And I said, President, what you've been told by those people who are opposed to transformation back home in South Africa is not true. And I added to him, I said, we were well taught by Nelson Mandela and other iconic leaders like Oliver Tambo on how to continue to build a united nation out of the diverse groupings that we have in South Africa. We're the only country on the continent where the colonizers came to stay, and we have never driven them out of our country. So they are staying, and they're making great progress. It's a fringe grouping that does not have a lot of support, that is anti-transformation and anti-change, that would actually prefer to see South Africa going back to apartheid type of policies. And I said to him, I would never do that. I learned at the feet of Nelson Mandela, and we intend to proceed with the implementation of our constitutional architecture. And I thought in my conversation with him early in the morning at 4 o'clock South African time, he understood that. And I said, I'd like to come and meet him so that we can discuss this matter further. So those people who have fled are not being persecuted. They are not being hounded. They are not being treated badly. And they are leaving ostensibly because they don't want to embrace the changes that are taking place in our country in accordance with our constitution. So we think that the American government has got the wrong end of the stick here, but we'll continue talking to them.
So a face-to-face meeting is coming up. Is Elon Musk invited when you have that face-to-face meeting?
Well, I don't know. They will determine.
So this is what President Ramaphosa has basically said about the developments of this story. But just like I said earlier on, guys, I think these people actually needs to think about the fact that maybe right now it is not only about the fear of the adults, maybe the fear of children. Maybe some of these people were actually told by their children that I am scared because I heard a certain political party chanting that they want to kill us and I'm scared. And I think that is valid enough as a parent to say that I don't want to raise my kids in a country where they are scared of being killed, because this is a child. You cannot sit down a child and say that, no. You need to understand that the South African Constitutional Court, they said that this is not hate speech. Just because those people are chanting, kill the Boer, kill the Afrikaners, it doesn't mean that they will literally come and kill you. I don't think a child can actually understand that. And I think that for these people, if they actually want to fix this situation, they actually need to start looking at things from that angle, not just, no, these people are not being persecuted, these people are lying. Just think about, maybe some of them, they have children and their children are sick and tired, or their children are scared of what they've actually heard. And this is the reason why they are saying, okay, maybe let me take my children out of this country because they are now uncomfortable. And I believe that it could be valid enough. Even as a black person, I have a child. If my child is not comfortable somewhere, I will take my child out of there. I will take my child out of there. I will not say, no, you must go there. You must go there. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. And I think if they are serious about actually fixing this issue, this is some of the things that they actually need to look at, because it is not only about the adults. Sometimes it is about the children and what the children hear. I don't know, guys. Those are just my opinion. So please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabao, so I will see you next time. Bye bye.